Why does Zambia suddenly matter so much to the world? Look, guys, we're about to go ahead and check this out. Link to this vid will be in the description. Let's get right into it, man.
There is a country in South-Central Africa with no coastline, 8 neighboring nations, a border only about 150 meters long, and one of the world's great copper belts beneath its soil. Its name is Zambia. In August 2026, Zambia drew international attention when its presidential vote count was temporarily suspended after reports of violence and stolen ballot papers. But this is not only an election story. It is the story of a country whose unusual geography can influence an entire region. Zambia shares borders with Angola, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Tanzania, Malawi, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Botswana, and Namibia.
Dang, you're right. Y'all right in the middle.
That creates the first contradiction. Zambia has no direct access to the sea, yet it stands at the center of routes connecting the mineral-rich interior of Africa with ports on 2 different oceans. To the west, Angola provides a route toward the Atlantic. To the east, Tanzania and Mozambique provide gateways toward the Indian Ocean. To the north is the mineral-rich Democratic Republic of the Congo. Zambia is not at the edge of this region. It is one of its crossroads, and one corner of the country contains an extraordinary border puzzle. At Kazungula, Zambia, Botswana, Namibia, and Zimbabwe come so close to meeting that the location is often described as a 4-country point. Look closer, however, and the map reveals something even stranger. Instead of one perfect quadripoint, there are 2 international tripoints separated by only about 150 meters. That tiny stretch forms the border between Zambia and Botswana. It is shorter than 2 standard football pitches placed end to end. Today, the Kazungula Bridge crosses the Zambezi River between those 2 countries. The 923-meter road and rail bridge replaced a ferry and became a crucial link in the North-South corridor. This trade route connects ports and markets in southern Africa with inland countries such as Zambia and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The border oddity is not just a fact for map lovers, it demonstrates Zambia's central challenge. Almost every major shipment, journey, or infrastructure project depends on cooperation with another country. When ships face trouble at sea, they may be able to change course. Zambia has no coast and cannot avoid its neighbors. Every route to a global port begins by crossing a border. Even the country's name begins with geography. Zambia is named after the Zambezi River, which begins as a small spring in the country's northwest. From there, the river travels through or along 6 countries before reaching the Indian Ocean.
Dang.
Along the way, it becomes part of Zambia's southern border and creates one of the most spectacular sights in Africa, Victoria Falls. Here, the Zambezi drops into a narrow basalt gorge between Zambia and Zimbabwe. Local people call the falls Mosi Oatunya, meaning the smoke that thunders, because the spray rises like smoke while the sound of the water carries across the landscape. But the Zambezi is more than scenery.
Yo, I need to see this. I need to see this waterfall in person, bro. I just want to experience how loud it is, bro. Because I imagine it being like literally how he just described it, like a roaring thunder, bro. Like, I need to see this in person.
It's a border, a transport route, a source of food, and a producer of electricity. Farther downstream, the river is held back by the Kariba Dam, creating one of the largest artificial reservoirs in the world. Lake Kariba is so wide in places that it can feel more like an inland sea. Its water helps generate electricity for both Zambia and Zimbabwe. This means a single river connects tourism, borders, agriculture, and power generation across several countries. Zambia's geography has also shaped traditions found nowhere else. Every year, seasonal rains flood the Barotse Plain in western Zambia. When the water rises, the Lozi king leaves his residence on the floodplain and travels to higher ground aboard a huge royal barge. The ceremony is called Kwamboka, meaning to move out of the water. Dozens of rowers propel the black and white barge as drums echo across the flooded landscape. It is a striking example of geography becoming culture.
Hey, y'all mentioned the food, bro. I need to see a video on Zambian food, man. So, hey, if there's any food videos that y'all know of, please link them down below, bro, because I want to see what the food is looking like. I'm a big foodie, bro. I'm a huge foodie, so definitely going to be checking out a food video on y'all.
An annual royal tradition organized around the movement of a river. And it is only one part of a remarkably diverse country. Zambia contains more than 70 ethnic groups with traditions connected to harvests, migrations, floods, ancestry, and local history. But the resource attracting the most international attention is not flowing through Zambia. It is buried beneath it. Copper has shaped Zambia's economy for generations. In 2024, the country ranked as the world's 8th largest producer of mined copper. The metal accounted for roughly 2/3 of the value of Zambia's goods exports. That matters because copper is one of the invisible foundations of modern life. It carries electricity through homes and cities. It is used in phones, computers, electric vehicles, power grids, wind turbines, and solar installations. As countries electrify transport and expand renewable energy,
the value of copper is gonna go up, bro. That's why Zambia suddenly matters so much. I was curious on why the video was titled this, but it makes sense now. You know what I'm saying? The more electric cars we have, you know what I'm saying? Like things like that, copper is going to be very, very important. And the price of copper is going to go up, bro.
They need enormous quantities of it. This is why Zambia's copper belt, shared with the neighboring Democratic Republic of the Congo, is becoming increasingly important. China has major investments in Zambia's mining sector. The United States and European partners are also looking for new mineral supply routes as they try to reduce their dependence on processing and supply chains concentrated elsewhere. Zambia is therefore more than a producer. It is becoming part of a wider competition over who finances the mines, who builds the infrastructure, and which direction the copper travels. One proposed route reveals why Zambia's landlocked position is so important. The Lobito Corridor is intended to connect the copper belt in Zambia and the Democratic Republic of the Congo with the Atlantic port of Lobito in Angola. On a map, the idea is simple. Create a faster western outlet for minerals and other goods produced deep inside the continent. But in reality, the corridor depends on railways, roads, border crossings, financing, and cooperation among several governments. It could give Zambia another route to global markets, create opportunities for Angola and the Congo, and make regional trade easier. It could also intensify competition among outside powers seeking reliable access to critical minerals. For a country without a coastline, every working border and every reliable neighbor matters. This brings us back to the election. In August 2026, Zambians voted for a president, members of parliament, and local representatives. Shortly after voting ended, the Electoral Commission temporarily suspended the presidential count.
How long ago was that? Because this is August 2026 right now.
Citing threats of violence, attacks on officials, and reports of stolen ballot papers. Opposition figures made additional allegations about possible interference. Those claims should be treated as allegations unless independently confirmed. The lasting issue is larger than any single candidate. Zambia has often been regarded as one of the more politically stable countries in southern Africa, with several peaceful transfers of power since the return of multi-party democracy. If institutions resolve an electoral dispute transparently and peacefully, confidence can recover quickly. If uncertainty continues, the effects can move outward: delayed investment, pressure on the currency, slower infrastructure projects, disruptions at borders, and greater concern among neighboring countries and mining partners. Zambia alone does not control the global price of copper. But stability here influences decisions about mines, railways, power, and supply routes that connect several countries. Zambia is rich in resources, but resources do not automatically produce prosperity. Mining can create jobs, tax revenue, roads, and export income. It can also produce pollution, dependence on volatile commodity prices, and communities that see minerals leave while local benefits arrive slowly or not at all. The challenge is not simply to extract more copper. It is to decide how much value can remain inside Zambia through local processing, skilled employment, reliable electricity, and environmental protection. The Lobito corridor could move minerals toward the Atlantic, but its longer-term value will depend on whether it also improves trade and opportunity for the people living along its route. That is why Zambia matters to other countries. To Angola, it is a partner that can bring more trade toward the Atlantic. To the Democratic Republic of the Congo, it is part of the same cross-border mineral region. To Zimbabwe, it shares electricity, tourism, the Zambezi River, and Victoria Falls. To Tanzania, Mozambique, Namibia, Botswana, and Malawi, it is a neighboring market and transport link. To China, the United States, and Europe, it is part of the future map of copper and critical infrastructure. And to the rest of us, Zambia is a reminder that a country does not need a coastline or constant global headlines to occupy an important place in the world. The current story began with an interrupted vote count, but Zambia's real story is written across a much larger map: 8 borders, 2 ocean-facing trade directions, one of Africa's great rivers, and a copper belt connected to the technologies of the future. The election will eventually become history. The geography will remain, and that geography ensures that what happens in Zambia can travel far beyond Zambia. Which fact surprised you more?
What y'all thoughts are, man. Hey, let me know in the comments section other videos I should check out. I know in my last video when I was checking out Zambia, you guys mentioned a lot about food. Like I said, I am a big foodie, man. So if y'all see any type of food videos that I should check out, leave the links in the comment section below. But I hope you guys enjoy my reaction commentary to this video. Link to this video will be in the description. Stay tuned after y'all.